Rassie Rasmus has just dropped the Springbok lineup to face Argentina in London. There's only been 4 changes. 1 to the starting lineup and 3 to the bench, which is very interesting because we've spoken a lot about when is he going to bring some of these bigger names back. We're going to dive into it. There's a lot to cover in this video. If you haven't, please hit that subscribe button. I'm giving away 500 Rand to one of my subscribers in this video. So if you haven't, please hit that subscribe button, leave this video a like, and as always, drop your opinions down in the comments below. So coming off of the back, first of all, here's the team. Now coming off of the back from the test match in Durban, where Sasha got 37 or scored 37 points, where we were absolutely dominant in that second half, where we made a couple of errors in that first half. There was this conversation around, is Handré Pollard coming back? Is the likes of a Jesse Kriel coming back? Are we going to give our veterans that have won us 2 Rugby World Cups some opportunity? Because before this London test, Handré Pollard hasn't played in 2 games, which maybe says a lot about what Rassie Rasmus and the coaching staff think about Sasha Feinberg and Gumazulu. But it's a Sasha show. He's going to continue with Sasha starting at 10, which, I mean, he couldn't have performed better last week, so giving him that selection on form is definitely the right decision in my mind. But there's a couple of interesting takes here. Oxenchur is back in that number 1 jersey after a bit of a niggle last week. He's back, and it's clear to see that Rassie Rasmus doesn't want to rest him as much as maybe we think he should be resting him. Ox has played a lot of games. I think last week might have been the first or second game that he's missed this year. So the question marks are around, can Ox continue all of these performances? Can he play in every game? Because Rassie Rasmus is hesitant to rotate him as much as he is the other guys. But we've got Ox starting at 1. We've got Malcolm Marx and Thomas du Toit in that 2 and 3 position, and I think they were pretty good last weekend. Ox is going to give us a lot more scrum pressure, which we know that the Springboks love to have. Get penalties off of scrums, play the tactical game, play the territory game, and get down the field. An unchanged lock department in Eben Etzebeth and Rowan Nokia, and I think this is definitely our best lock combination at the moment. Franco Mossad unfortunately didn't go to London. Louis de Jager has taken his place. Louis gone to help the boys train, I guess. It was interesting because why take Louis de Jager if you're not going to play him? But I guess Rassie Rasmus is using him as one of the training squad members for this week. And if you look at this forward pack, which is finished off by Siya Kolisi, Pieter-Steph du Toit and Jasper Visser, I feel like Rassie Rasmus, week in and week out now, has played our strongest forward pack. And I think this is maybe the forward pack that he's going to go into the November tours with. I think as a loose trio, that's definitely our best loose trio, and Siya Kolisi, Pieter-Steph du Toit and Jasper Visser. Jasper Visser, I've been saying it week in and week out, just provides something a little bit different in that 8 jersey, where he's a little bit more physical. He carries the ball. He gains that extra 2-3 meters in contact. He's so physical on defense. And then you've got the likes of a Pieter-Steph du Toit, who was absolutely phenomenal last week against the Pumas here in Durban, and then we know what we're going to get from Siya in that 6 jersey. So looking at that forward pack, I think that's probably our best forward pack we could put out. There may be question marks around Thomas du Toit, whether you should be having Jan-Hendrik Wessels in there, or Volker Low, or Vincent Koch. I mean, we haven't seen the likes of Vincent Koch, Faf de Klerk, who have been in the squad. Bongi is now back on the bench, but Vincent Koch and Faf, we haven't seen in a while. They've been in the squad for ages, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there, whether they may be taking more of a player coaching role, trying to help these younger guys sort of come through the ranks. But it's interesting. It's a powerful, powerful pack, and I think that is the difference that the Springboks have compared to the likes of the All Blacks. We now have this flashy backline, but we also have the forward pack that's going to get us onto the front foot, and is almost a bit of a fallback to that Springbok DNA. We speak about the Springbok DNA. What's our Springbok DNA? Well, it's still big ball carriers up front, winning those collisions, and then allowing the likes of a Sasha, a Damian Willemse, Apelele Fassi to get wide and sort of get around. Now what we've seen over the last 2 games is get around all through New Zealand and Argentina. Then into the back line. Not many changes here. Very surprised Kobus Reinach gets another start with Sasha Feinberg and Gumazulu. I would have thought if Grant Williams is playing, he would be starting, but Grant Williams is on the bench. Look, I thought Kobus Reinach was good last week. I still think Grant Williams is our best number 9 at the moment, and I still think he's the best person to pair with the likes of a Sasha in that 9 and 10 role. Sasha, I mean, we've spoken about him so much over the last couple of days. The media has gone absolutely wild with what he did against the Pumas, and deserved start in that number 10 jersey, and probably you could make the case that he might be our number 110. And it's interesting because over the course of this year, we've said Handré Pollard's our number 110, we've said Manie Libbok could be our number 110, and we've said Sasha could be our number 110. So competition is healthy, and I think that's where the Springboks differentiate themselves. There's so much competition in each position that you could pick almost any team and go forward with that. You then got Damien Delende and Kanan Moody in that centre pairing. I thought this week Rassie might switch it around and play Damian Willemse potentially at 12 or Ethan Hooker at 12 and Jesse Creel starting at 13 to kind of test the different combination, having a youngster in that 12 jersey and having the more experienced Jesse Creel in that number 13 jersey. But he stuck to the centre combination that did so well last week. And then nothing has changed on the wings. Ethan Hooker and Cheslin Kolbe. And it's going to be interesting to see when Kurtley Arendse comes back where Ethan Hooker fits into that, because Makazole Mapimpi is also in the squad and he hasn't got a start in the most recent games because Ethan Hooker's just been doing such a good job in that number 11 jersey. We know how good Cheslin Kolbe is in that 14 jersey. And then Damien Willemse, while he was slightly quiet last weekend against the Pumas, we know his quality. We saw it against the All Blacks at Wellington where he shifted from 12 to 15. He provides us more utility. So does Sasha. A lot of utility there. Kanan Moody provides utility across the back line as well. Then we look at the replacements. A 5-3 bench split, and a 6-2 bench split has always been our norm, but it seems this year with the more attacking style, Rassie Erasmus wants some more cover in the back line, which is why we've gone for so many 5-3 splits. But Bongi comes in as the replacement hooker. Then you got Jan-Hendrik Wessels and Volkelo, the Bulls combination. Volkelo has now moved to the Stormers. But I do think that's probably our two best two replacement props at the moment. There is an argument to be made for Volkelo starting. Bongi, good to see him back. This is a big game for him. He needs to come on and make an impact because I don't think he's been performing up to his standard over the past couple of games that he's been in. So a big game for Bongi. Then we got RG Snyman, replacement lock. Again, I think he's probably best coming off of the bench. You got Louis Diago, we had Franco Mostert. So there is competition there, but I think Irvin starting, Ruan Nokia starting, and RG Snyman coming off the bench is our best combinations at the moment. Obviously, we've got Kwagga as the replacement Lucy. Then we've got Grant Williams, Manie Libbok, and Jesse Creel as the utility back. Grant Williams, I'm sure he's going to get 30 or 40 minutes. Manie Libbok, I mean, interesting that Pollard's not on the bench, and it might be a sign of times changing, sign of the future. Pollard is always going to be a phenomenal fly-off, but I think in this attacking system, Manie and Sasha are just better suited for what Rassie Erasmus, Tony Brown and the coaching staff are trying to do. So Manie coming off of the bench can play 10, can play 15, can slot in all over the place, so can Grant Williams, and then Jesse Creel being the utility back. It'll be interesting to see where he comes on. If he comes on at 13, if he comes on at wing, if he comes on at 12, if he comes on at 15, I wouldn't put it past Rassie Erasmus to experiment around with that. But that's your starting 23 to face the Pumas to win the Rugby Championship this weekend. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you haven't, hit subscribe and give me $500 away to someone that is subscribed to the channel. Leave your opinions down in the comments and I'll see you guys soon. Take it easy. Peace.